Hi everyone, welcome back. We're going to do another Leetcode today, and in this video we're going to do the problem called merge sorted array. So in this problem we are given two integers arrays nums1 and 2, and it is sorted in non-decreasing order, and we have two integers m and n, so it represents the number of elements in nums1 and nums2. So we're supposed to merge these two arrays into a single array, and it has to be sorted in non-decreasing order. And this final sorted array should not be returned by the function. So instead, we're supposed to modify array nums1. And in order to accommodate this, the nums1 input array has a length of m plus n. And the first m elements denote the elements that should be merged, so basically the values that we need, and the last n elements are set to 0 and should be ignored. So nums2 has a length of n. So if we look at the example here, pretty straightforward. You have a first array with m equal 3. So 1, 2, 3 are the numbers to be merged and sorted, and nums2 has 2, 5, 6. So we're supposed to have the resultant outputs for both numbers, and it has to be sorted in non-decreasing order. So let's just take a look at the solution. So basically how I would approach this solution is basically looking at both of the arrays. We need to look at the last number of nums1, which is 3, and the last number of nums2, which is 6. And we also need a pointer to the last index of nums1. So that will be m plus n, or m plus n minus 1, because that's the length of the resultant output array. So let's just code that up quickly. So we're going to call the first pointer p1, and it's going to have the value of m minus 1. So that's the index of the last number in nums1 to be sorted. And we're going to have let p2, that's the second pointer, will be n minus 1, which is the last index for nums2. And then we have a third pointer, which is also the length of the resultant array. So it's m plus n, and we need the last index, so we have to subtract 1. So that is 3 of the pointers. So now we can actually sort the pointers. So we can create a while loop and say, okay, if p1 is greater than or equal to 0, we're going to run the loop, and p2 has to be greater or equal to 0, and we'll run this loop. And every time we run this loop, we want to check if nums1, and we have that pointer over there, and say p1 is greater than nums2 p2, then we need to sort nums p1 in the end of the array. So we can just say nums1 and then the pointer of 3, and then we're going to assign it to nums1 p1. So that's the if statement. Or if it is if the else statement, we're going to just do the opposite. We're going to say nums1 p3 equals nums2 p2. So other than that, we also need to move the pointers after assigning each other. So for the if statement, we need to move, obviously we need to move the p1 down, and for the else statement, we need to move the p2 down. And also after every sorting, we need to move the last pointer down as well. So once that is already assigned, that position, then we need to just move it down one step. So that's the while loop that will pretty much sort all types of inputs. But there's also one input, and we have it here in example 3, where nums1 is actually empty, m equals 0, but it plays m plus n, which is a one spot for what we need to merge the array, and we need to still sort this array into nums1. So basically what we have to do is let's say, for instance, it might not just be one position. It could be 5 positions and num2 has like 5 numbers in it. So what we can do is we do another while loop, and we have to check if p2 is less than or equal to 0. This time just p2. And then what we can do is we can just say nums1 p3 and nums1 p3 equals nums2 p2, and then we can just say p2 minus minus, decrement that pointer, and then p3, again we decrement p3 as well. So that will actually transfer all the values from nums2 into nums1, and then we will actually take care of that case. So in that case, in this example, this loop won't run. The first loop won't run because p1 is already equals to 0, so it's not going to run. And then it'll just go through this loop here. So let's just submit, or let's just run this test case first. And you can see we have passed all the test cases. Let's submit it. And we have an accepted solution. So basically, this is the solution to this problem, merge sorted array. Pretty straightforward. So basically, the time complexity is m plus n, because you have to go through the entire length of the resultant array. And also the space complexity would be O of 1, because we're not really saving anything into memory. We're just reassigning these numbers 1, and these variables will probably take constant space. And this is the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and also don't remember to press the bell for your notifications. If you have any questions about this problem, drop a comment down below, and we're going to do more of these Leetcodes in the future, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you in the next video.